Troy Weaver is in a situation. Do I trust him more, or do I trust him the same as Brad Holmes? No. Outside of Cade Cunningham, what has he done? I want to see Troy Weaver make an aggressive move. I want to see Troy Weaver do something that we didn't see coming.
We gave, a lot of us anyway, and I think I speak for all of us, and feel free to tell me if I'm wrong, that when Brad Holmes made that pick, we were going to say, you know what? We like what's happened with this franchise. We like his moves through a season and a half. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, even if we don't agree with it.
Right.
I feel like that about Troy Weaver. I do feel like no matter who he picks, for me, it's Jaden Ivey, one, and then the second guy I want, Shaden Sharp. Those are the only two names I want to see on Friday night. Or excuse me, on Thursday night. But if it's not one of those guys, if it's this Benedict Mathurin or Keegan Murray, I feel like I'm going to trust that Troy Weaver knows what he's doing, and I'm going to give him the same sort of latitude as I give Brad Holmes. Do you feel like that? Has Troy Weaver earned that?
No. I don't think he has. I look at what Brad Holmes did in 1 year. And this is even before we saw what he did in this year's draft. We'll get to that. You look at, you look at him bringing in Josh Reynolds from the Los Angeles Rams, giving Jared Goff a sense of comfortability, bringing in a receiver that was a veteran that actually ended up helping out who? Amon-Ra St. Brown, who got better after Josh Reynolds got there. You look at his grade as a rookie wide receiver. You look at Penei Sewell, who Maz has legitimately gone all year talking about Micah Parsons. Even Maz at some point said, you know what? Penei Sewell's a good one. Like I still want Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but Penei Sewell has the potential of being a Hall of Famer. Even Maz at some point said, I like that pick. You look at what he's done. Those moves helped the Detroit Lions at some point last year, and it started to build a little bit of a foundation. Going into the draft this year, we were cool because we saw the draft picks that he did last year. We saw how they showed promise. We saw how some of them showed to be starters. Some of them showed to be Pro Bowl caliber, perennial Pro Bowl caliber players. So going into the draft, you're like, you know what? I like the attitude. I like the conversation. When you see Troy Weaver, when you saw Brad Holmes on interviews, whenever he was talking, didn't give up too much, but you saw his love for the squad, saw his love for what he was trying to do, stood by his coach and Dan Campbell. You had more faith in what he was going to do. And then here comes the draft. Aiden Hutchinson fell to him. I don't give him points for that because Aiden Hutchinson fell to him. I give him points for taking Aiden Hutchinson, but he fell to him. I give him hell of kudos, hell of points for Jamison Williams. And the move to go up and get him, the move to get the number one wide receiver through injury or not, in the draft, moved up. With Troy Weaver, outside of Cade Cunningham, what has he done? Like, I understand he got Marvin Bagley the third.
Sadiq Bey at 19, I think, was pretty darn good.
That was a good draft.
Yeah.
Ray. Look, Killian Hayes might be he got hurt. He might never live up to what he was supposed to be.
And it happens. I understand it because you can say the same thing about Jeff Okudah and all. Don't say Beef Stew. Beef Stew is a poor man's Jason Maxill.
Look,
and I didn't like Jason Maxill.
You're absolutely right about that. But I think we're talking about who you're going to get at 5. You know what I'm saying? Like this was 16 and 19 taking Stewart and Bay.
Put it to you this way.
And hard to believe that Stewart was taken before Bay.
Which furthers what I'm saying. But
we lucked out.
What I will say is we lucked out. I will give Troy Weaver credit because he's faced with a tough task. He's the general manager of the Detroit Pistons. Okay, so that's a tough task. That's a tall order. So I'll push back a little bit. What I will say is this. Troy Weaver is in a situation. Do I trust him more or do I trust him the same as Brad Holmes? No. If he gets it right at 5 this year, then I think that he can be on that same level as Stevie Y and Brad Holmes.
And conversely, what he does with Jeremy Grant, right? I mean,
Agreed.
You know,
Very good point.
You can't get nothing for Jeremy Grant. Yeah. Even if you go to the trade deadline, right? I mean, then you know that teams are they really going to give you what you want for him, knowing that you have to trade him at the deadline. There's no way you're keeping him, letting him get to the offseason and not getting anything for him. So I just wanted to point that out.
That's actually a good thing that you point out. Look, I want to see a move. Like, I want to see something aggressive. I want to see something like what Brad Holmes did. Now that's going to be the staple, and that's going to be the standard, and it's a little tough. And even with that move, well, Jameson Williams hasn't necessarily played yet. Jameson Williams hasn't necessarily come back from injury yet. So that move, I love it. I think it's amazing, but it still has to work itself out. With that being said, I want to see Troy Weaver make an aggressive move. I want to see Troy Weaver do something that we didn't see coming. I'm not a general manager for the NBA. That's not my job. All I can do is read mock drafts. I can read ESPN. Maz, you and I can converse about what we've seen. Ryan, the same with you. But I need to see him do something that came out of left field. What if he moves up to pick 2 somehow or pick 3? What if he goes after Chet Holmgren which I love Chet Holmgren, by the way. If he does something like that and goes and grabs a guy like that, I need to see something aggressive out of Troy Weaver, because I think now is the time. You see Sacramento. What is Sacramento talking about? We want to win now, which is funny coming from them, but we want to win now. So the drafts that they're trying to do, the players that they're trying to add in free agency, they want to win now. Well, you know what? The Detroit Pistons should want to win now too, because I think I'm tired of losing, and I don't play for the Pistons. I just been watching the Pistons. I think if he could do something aggressive that we don't see coming, something out of left field, I think it could put him in the same category as Brad Holmes. But right now, I don't think he's in that category.
I got something for you guys out of left field. What if Orlando loves Jaden Ivey, right?
They do.
Who's picking number 1?
Orlando.
Why not swap with Orlando? They still get Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying. What if you put a big package together
Yeah.
I mean,
to get the number 1 pick?
Sacramento, and you have a point.
Yeah.
Because Sacramento.
You could do a 3-team trade, perhaps.
I know you guys heard what was cooking last night. Sacramento, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis. Who did they have dinner with? It's Keegan Murray. They want a guy played next to Domantas Sabonis. Keegan Murray 6'9". Keegan Murray can shoot the blood out of the ball. And I don't know what he can do in necessarily his post-up game or whatever, and as a slasher. But it seems like they're very interested in how he fits in as a piece. So to your point, doesn't seem like Sacramento's taking Jaden Ivey no matter what they say. Visual speaks. And what I saw visually, I saw TMZ pictures, Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox having dinner with your boy, Keegan Murray.
You know, just looking back at that 2020 NBA draft, and this will be the 3rd draft for Troy Weaver. Last year, obviously, and again, I think Livers was a really good pick last year. Isaiah Livers, right. I think he's going to be a really good player for this team. And then obviously Cade was a no-brainer.
Livers was 2nd round, correct?
Yeah, and along with Garza.
Yep.
But in that 2020 draft, Detroit selected Killian Hayes. I think the only other option would have been Tyrese Halliburton at 12, is a guy that you could argue. And then Isaiah Stewart picked by Portland, traded to Detroit. Sadiq Bey picked by Brooklyn, traded to Detroit. But it's one of those things where I think whoever's making the pick, you say, this is the guy that I want if you want.
Yeah.
If you want to trade.
I just want some. I'm just in this space right now, and you can call me what you want to call me. You can now call me a Detroit slappy, because that's what I've been my whole life.
You're a Detroit slappy.
Minus 1 team, but even I'm starting to come around on the Detroit Lions. I'm starting
Look at you.
I mean, look, man.
Look at you.
Doing this show, I've been home.
Who are you?
Hey, look, I've been back in Detroit now since 2014. I'm now doing sports again. I love it. Woodward Sports gave me an opportunity to talk about sports, which I love to do.
With your boy Ryan Armani.
My boy Maz, Flannel Sam, Fletch in the building, on this great network that's Woodward Sports. But I'm coming around them as well. I just want some players that look like something when you draft them. Like, I'm tired of watching these other teams draft these players and they ball and they look like something. Watching Philly in the playoffs, and you watching Tyrese Maxey, you watching Barnes, freaking the rookie of the year, and with the Toronto Raptors. I want a player that makes some noise. Now, obviously, Cade Cunningham.
Yep.
I cannot disrespect that. But he's a number 1 pick overall. We don't need a number 1 pick overall to ball. I need that 5th pick overall. I need that 12th pick overall. I need that 10th pick overall to make some noise, do some dance, so we can win some damn games, so I can be excited to take friends from out of town to LCA, to Comerica Park, to Ford Field.
How much better would we have been with Tyrese Halliburton?
Well, I
I'm
mean,
just asking.
Yeah,
He's a damn good
a
player.
lot.
How much
Sacramento
better?
got rid of him.
You know
We
what,
wouldn't be
though?
pick- we wouldn't
be
Honestly,
picking-
you probably wouldn't have gotten Cade. Maybe you wouldn't have gotten Cade. You just don't know, right?
True.
Maybe you win a couple extra games and you lose a couple of ping pong balls and you don't get the number 1 overall pick last year. You just don't know. I don't know.
And we definitely didn't get it
I
this
have
year.
no idea.